Insurance stocks are always up.
But
They're rarely down, Charlie.
well, with Obamacare.
They're the house in the casino. They always win no matter what.
Well, if they do just a repeal, right, that can screw around with premiums, and you can watch those stocks fluctuate.
Shall we talk about how we were both half right on this Hyde Amendment, by the way. The original one was 1976-77, but then Bill Clinton fixed it.
I just didn't think that Henry Hyde was around that long. He was many years.
Okay. What are you dealing with today? Another exclusive.
Well, HNA, the big Chinese conglomerate, is in the news a lot lately because Anthony Scaramucci, the White House communications director, is selling his fund of funds company, Skybridge, to HNA. But a bigger story, and by the way, I think that deal, when I talk to people at HNA, they think that deal is going to get done. It's going to pass the necessary approvals. And, a lot of people call HNA controversial. I don't think they are. I've met with the people there. They seem like they have a pretty solid business plan, and much of that business plan is to expand in the United States, to expand in asset management, particularly in the United States. That's why they bought Skybridge, and maybe to buy others. They've passed most of their regulatory reviews. I think there's a story out today that they didn't pass one on some minor company. They're likely to pass the Skybridge, which they believe is a stable core of assets that they can expand upon because of its connections with Wall Street. But here's an interesting...
I.e. Scaramucci.
Yes. Well, no. Listen, I think they bought the company despite him. I really do. I spent some time with them where they mapped out their strategy. I don't think this is a plan to get inside the Trump administration. This is a plan for them to take assets. And, if anything, I think the controversy, not the controversy, but the fact that he's there is slowing things up, because then you have to double, triple check everything. The real sort of interesting story about HNA, which isn't getting a lot of play, is this battle they're having with Bank of America. And I don't think people realize this. HNA does business with all sorts of banks. One bank it doesn't do business with is Bank of America. It does business with J.P. Morgan, for example, the gold standard of banks. Apparently, Bank of America had a memo that they leaked out that basically said, here's why we're not going to do business with HNA, because we don't know we don't have a lot of information on the ownership structure. That caused HNA to basically go and write a letter to Brian Moynihan demanding actions, and basically pointing out that we don't do business with you either. By the way, you did not make the cut for an underwriter selection that we have. So it's
I know you are, but what am I? I did it first.
It's really a fascinating story between this big company, and HNA is going to be out there more. Listen, allegedly...
So that hurts Bank of America more, that they're not in that game, in that room?
Here's the thing. There may be a slowdown in what HNA does in the U.S., okay, now that China is looking to reel back some of its acquisitive nature of the companies, because they borrow from Chinese banks, which is essentially the government. But that said, they're going to be a player here. They're going to be a player in asset management. And if you're Bank of America, the last thing you want is to leak out internal memos about a potential customer. I've never seen that before. But anyway, I think our viewers are going to be hearing a lot more about this company. By the way, they own 8% of Deutsche Bank. This is going to be a major player in financial services going forward. And I think, reporters, instead of thinking they're just like evil Chinese, just go out and meet them.
Well, which is what you did,
That's what I did
as a reporter. We've got literally 8 seconds to go, so I will take that time to say thank you, Charlie, very much. Charlie Gasparino.